Welcome to the Parenting Brief. I'm your host, Jessica Stewart-Gonzalez, an Arizona working mom and chief of the Office of Children's Health at the Arizona Department of Health Services. Whether you're expecting your first child or in the middle of your parenting journey, our goal is to provide you with accurate information, easy to implement parenting tips, and reassurance that you're doing a great job. Our guests aren't only experts in their field, but parents too. We've been there or are still there, and we're on a mission to give you the peace of mind you need. Thank you for joining us for this special episode of the Parenting Brief. Today's topic is fatherhood. It's too important of a topic to try and fit it into one of our brief episodes, so we expanded it to this first ever 3-part series. Not a dad? Don't worry, these conversations are meant for everyone. Over the course of these episodes, we'll look at the value of dad figures, how moms and dads parent differently, and what all of these dynamics mean for young children. To help me out, I've recruited an incredible dad and parenting expert to provide his insights just for you. Here with me today is Allan Stockellburg. He is the executive director of Parent Aid, an Arizona-based organization on a mission to prevent child neglect by strengthening families and communities. And he's also our dad guru, who leads the Love Like a Dad program in Arizona. He's a dad himself and will be joining us throughout this mini-series to share his expertise. Thank you for joining us, Allan.
Yeah, thank you for having me. That was quite an intro. Thank you.
So to start, let's talk about the differences between a dad and a father. Could you give us a quick definition of each and explain why you say they are different?
Well, sure. I mean, I think some of that starts with a little bit of some background information, because a lot of people are like, what? Those are the same word, right? So for me, when I think of the word father, I think of a very biological essence. If you look this up in Merriam-Webster's dictionary, which is kind of the standard, it means to beget a child. It means to bring into the world, to sire, to spawn. So to me, that is a biological man that you share DNA with, right? For me, when I think of the word dad, I think more of the man who shows up. A lot of the times that could be the same person, the same man who is your father is also your dad. But there are other ways to show up in a child's life, in anybody's life really, as a man, in which you're taking on more of that kind of dad persona in there. So it's the man that shows up and who cares. When I think of the word dad, that's what that means for me.
As we're talking about the difference between that father and the dad and who can play that part, I do want to talk about gender a little bit. I guess what I'm trying to get at is in that difference between father and dad and the role that they fill, does that really need to be filled, or are you identifying that as somebody who was born biologically male and filling that role? Or can that role really be filled by anybody who identifies as that dad, as that role of dad?
Can someone show up to a child and fill the roles that they are looking for in the family that may not be being filled by a father or a dad in that role? Absolutely. The idea is that we need to see, what is it that this child needs from us? Do they need somebody to kind of push them competitively? Do they need someone in their life that's going to say, rub some dirt on it and get back in the game? Do they need someone in their life that's going to just kind of be a little, I'm going to say, lower key about parenting and a little less feeling the social issues and the social competition of what it means to be a parent? So there's a lot of different things. And I just want to be clear, in my opinion, you are not filling the role of dad. You are just filling a role that a child needs. Now, from there, if you identify as a dad, then great. Then you're a dad showing up in a child's life. If you, in that instance, still identify as mom, that's fine. If you identify as some other family, friend, whatever, it doesn't matter. But to me, if you're a responsible man showing up and caring about a child, you are a dad to that child, in essence. I think it's positive that children can have multiple dad figures in their life. I hate the term father figure because of that, what we said earlier, father is a title. It's something that you become. And for me, the idea of dad is something you do.
How do we then identify who that right person is to bring into our kids' life if that dad role is not filled by that biological parent. So how do we identify the right time to introduce that individual to our children? Does it have to be that romantic partner, or can we find that in other ways in order to have that dad benefit for our kids?
I mean, quite honestly, if I had a way to say I can identify a good dad from show me a man and I'll tell you if he's a good dad, if I had that ability, I probably wouldn't be here to share it with you all because I'd be on a beach in Maui or something. But, I think we all have a really good read. I think we all know deep down inside, like, is this someone that can give something to my children, that can add value to my child? And I think what's important to think of is if we look at everybody's skill set, everybody's attributes, we're not going to find 100% everything we're happy with and want to have around, right? We're always going to have things like, well, I wish they didn't do that. I wish they clipped their toenails in the bathroom rather than at the dinner table kind of thing, right? Men can add value to children's life just by showing up. That's it. Just by showing up, smiling, and caring. They're going to add value. Now, I know there's going to be some men, just like there are some women, that really should not be involved in a child's life. I know that. We've met those people before. But a lot of people still can add a lot of value to a child's life as long as you yourself are feeling that your child is safe in that environment. That should really be all that is considered, because they will take something out of that situation.
I mean, I have been a single mom, and I am also now married and have an amazing partner and father of my children. But I also remember as that single mom thinking, I don't need a man. My kid doesn't need a dad. I need help as a mom. But what do you say to that? Like, what is that benefit of having that dad figure around without making those sacrifices, or not even sacrifices, but trying to push that relationship because maybe we find it important, and really kind of walk that boundary between having the benefit and the value of having that dad figure versus making sure that we're not pushing everybody into that role?
Sure. I think there's a lot of statements there to unpack. Like, one, there's the idea of like single mom trying to do it. And I think you put it on there. Like, I don't necessarily need a man here. I just need some help. Right. And something that I strongly believe is that no one person can be everything to a child. I don't even think no two people can truly be everything to a child. Children need a lot of roles filled in their life. And I know we tend to throw out the role of a dad quite well. Sometimes I slip up and say that as well. But to me, the idea of dad is not a role to fill. When you're showing up as a dad, you're filling these other roles in your child's life. It might be you're filling, a coach role. You're filling a roughhousing role. You're filling a dad joke role, which I personally like to fill. There's the position of being a dad fills roles, right? So as a single mom, yes, we all just need help. All of us as parents, we all just need help and support and a little bit of guidance every once in a while on what it means just to be a parent, right? But when it comes to dads, so many of us did not have very good models growing up. Either because he himself was confused of what kind of man and dad he wanted to be in his life. Maybe he was completely absent. Maybe you're not even sure who that man was, right? I know I once had somebody ask me, like, I don't know who my dad is. I never met him. I don't know what it means to be a dad in your life. I looked at him and I really had to search for that for quite a while. Like, what can this guy rely on? Because if it's the media, he's not going to find very good examples on what it means to be a good dad, right? So I thought about it, and I thought of a quote that I once heard, and it was, just think about everything that you ever yearned for and wanted as a child, and do that. Everything that your heart ached for when you were 8 to 12 years old, what is it that you needed in your life? And just do that. Sometimes all that means is just showing up and putting your arm around and just saying, how's your day? And just caring for 1 second. Sometimes that means the one that's doing story time every night. There's a lot of different ways that can look.
Want to learn more? We have additional links and information in the show notes for you to check out. We continue our conversation with Allan in our next 2 episodes. Next time, we talk about the differences in parenting styles between moms and dads. Follow the podcast today so you don't miss out. Until next time, this is Jessica. You've got this.